Preparing for the next phase, building the fancy family hospital.
It's really the heart and soul of this project.
Officials now accepting applications from builders. Winter warriors.
This is top 3 cold years I can remember.
Officers brave sub-zero temps for public safety. And coming soon.
It's something that's very important to have, especially in weeks like we're having right now.
A much-needed, long-awaited grocery store set to open in Sandwich Town.
CTV News with Stefanie Masotti.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us on CTV Windsor and AM 800. A new hospital for Windsor, Essex has inched forward another step. Companies can now apply to build the heart and soul of the fancy family hospital. Joining us with our top story tonight is Michelle Molesky. Michelle, an exciting development here.
It is a big development for sure, and this project is estimated, emphasis on the estimated, to cost more than $2 billion. It's a lot to take on, but the leadership team with the Fancy Family Hospital hope breaking the project into phases will entice a small group of companies to bid for the project. Transforming County Road 42 and the 9th concession is going to take an experienced contractor.
At least 2, maybe 3 that would be potential suitors for this development.
To lure prospective builders, the multi-billion-dollar project is being broken down into 3 phases. Phase 1, now underway, will eventually see a parking garage and admin building built. Phase 2, the main portion, a 5-story tower for all healthcare departments, with the last phase building a tower for all the inpatient beds.
Phase 2 is the largest phase of the development. It's really the heart and soul of this project. It will be the most expensive proportionately. Exactly
how much? Bailey won't say. What they are confirming is groundbreaking on Phase 1, quote, mid-2026.
From the curb, you will not be able to tell the difference. We'll break ground mid this year, and construction will slowly continue and expand from there on.
Meaning Phase 2 can start before Phase 1 is completed. And when it's all said and done, the phases will be a distant memory.
From a user, from a staff, from a patient perspective, you'll never be able to tell the difference.
Patients will notice, however, all the inpatient rooms will be private, with space for a caregiver.
That will be a huge boon, not only to infection control, but also to the healing spirit of the new hospital.
Incredibly, we've been talking about a new hospital here since 2012. Hospital officials will not divulge the exact cost to taxpayers for this project, nor can they say when it will ultimately open to you, the patients. Since 2012, a lot has happened, to be fair. The hospitals fully realigned all of their services. A new site was chosen and, of course, was hotly contested. Plus, there have been numerous changes in political leadership, both in Windsor and Ontario. Not to mention, we're now close to our 3rd CEO for the hospital, whichever one will be at the helm when the eventual ribbon cutting happens. Well, Stefanie, that is stay tuned.
Yeah, some people have been so involved during this entire process, and they won't be there for the end product.
They won't be. And Karen Riddle, we asked her about that today, and she said, you know, she's proud to have been one of the many people, as you correctly say, that had some kind of role in this. She is hoping to be there the day that they cut the ribbon on, and I feel like there's going to be a lot of people with the big gold scissors that day. I mean, I don't know. I'm not sure I'll be here anymore to report on when it opens.
When it opens, then you can retire, right?
Oh, there we go. That'll be my retirement. But yeah,
okay.
It is a long time, but these things take time.
Yep. So. Okay. Michelle Molesky with our top story tonight. Thank you, Michelle.
You're welcome.
High-stakes trade negotiations with the Trump administration are coming up, and Canada's premiers are meeting in Ottawa for 2 days to set priorities. CTV's Annie Bergeron-Oliver has Team Canada's priorities.
It's going to be an exciting couple days.
The gathering of Canada's 13 premiers, a sign of solidarity, as trade tensions thrust Canada-U.S. relations into a new, more unpredictable chapter.
You know, we talk about Canada true north, strong and free. Let us not allow other people to dictate to us how we govern.
We know President Trump's rules. There are no rules with him. So we need to focus on what we can do.
The premiers, even those who sometimes don't get along, sending a message of Team Canada unity.
We don't always agree on everything, but I think we've got a really solid base to start on.
The meeting comes days after the U.S. president threatened massive tariffs on Canadian imports, following the Prime Minister's speech in Davos declaring the old rules-based order dead.
If we are going to determine our destiny and become that leader in that middle power space, it is going to take us making those tough decisions, having those discussions like we'll have today on how we are going to allow that investment to flow, allow those industries that are creating wealth to expand.
One of the major topics on the agenda, provincial and territorial priorities for the upcoming CUSMA negotiations.
In any negotiation, there's on both sides, there's some people that are kind of out front with more bluster. We're certainly seeing that, particularly out of the United States right now, but I'm hopeful that below that, there are real and significant discussions happening and taking place, and I'm looking forward to kind of hearing from the Prime Minister on the status of those.
Discussions, the Prime Minister said today, are going well.
Relations are good. We have good conversations, good back and forth. There's a lot of work to be done for the review of CUSMA.
But that apparent optimism was met today by a threat from the U.S. administration.
I would not pick a fight going into USMCA to score some cheap political points. Either you are working for your own political career or you're working for the Canadian people.
Tonight, the premiers will sit down with the Prime Minister for a working dinner. The main meetings will take place all day tomorrow. Annie Bergeron-Oliver, CTV News, Ottawa.
The Windsor Police Service is asking for the public's help identifying a suspect after an armed robbery in the city's East End. Officers were called to a restaurant in the 3000 block of Tecumseh Road East just before 8:30 Monday night. Police say a man entered the restaurant, approached the cashier with his face covered, implied he had a firearm and demanded cash. Employees ran to the back and the suspect fled on foot with an unknown amount of money. No injuries were reported. The suspect is described as a white man between 5'7" and 5'11", wearing a face mask, a dark jacket with a white emblem, dark pants, running shoes and gloves. Anyone with information is asked to contact the Major Crimes Unit. Windsor, LaSalle, and Chatham-Kent Police Services say they will not take part in the federal assault-style firearms compensation program, at least at this time. Prohibited firearms and devices must be disposed of or permanently deactivated by October 30th. The buyback program is voluntary for local police services. In statement, the three forces say after reviewing the program's framework, questions remain around operational requirements, resource demands, and whether it can be effectively implemented locally. They say opting out allows officers to stay focused on core priorities, including emergency response, criminal investigations, and crime prevention. Only the Quebec government and police forces in Winnipeg, Halifax, and Cape Breton have signed deals with the government to support the program. A 23-year-old Bell River driver has been charged after a crash involving a train. Essex County OPP say the collision at County Road 22 near County Road 42 happened just after 7 p.m. last night. The rail crossing lights were flashing at the time. Police say there were no injuries. The driver was charged with careless driving and issued a 7-day driver's suspension. Extreme cold may keep many people indoors, but for police officers, the work doesn't stop when temperatures plunge. But how exactly do frigid temperatures and heavy snowfall, like what we've been experienced over the last couple of weeks, affect the job of policing? CTV's Sanjay Maru joins me now, and you had the opportunity to do a ride-along.
Yeah, that's right. A very fun day today. You know, the jobs of first responders, they're quite interesting, especially when you're talking about extreme cold, because there's no such thing as pivoting to work from home or sitting in an office all day. If you're a police officer assigned to be out on patrol, you have to be out no matter the weather.
Been with the LaSalle Police Service for 15 years, and this is top 3 cold years I can remember.
For police officers who have an already difficult job, extreme cold adds another challenge. But the demands of the role remain.
Yesterday, there was a truck about 100 meters in front of me, and I couldn't see it even with its lights on.
Here inside Constable Christopher Williams's cruiser, the heat is on high, and he has his winter gear at the ready. And when the snow falls, making roads slick and visibility poor,
just drive slow, and you have to navigate the parked cars and still find stop signs.
Williams says enforcement still applies, but judgment and road safety go hand in hand.
People will roll through stop signs and the yellow light. People may not slow down like they're supposed to for it, but if they were to slam on their brakes, they would just slide into the middle of the intersection as well. So we kind of look at the big picture of things, but if it's blatant that they had no intent of even trying to stop, I mean, you still have the job to do at the end of the day.
Cold weather also brings calls that have nothing to do with enforcement.
Yesterday morning, there was a guy who had his Chrysler 300 stuck on the side of the road. He got it half out, helped him get it the rest of the way out, and I'm sure every officer here would have tried to help him out the same way that I did.
In situations like that, Constable Williams says helping people get moving again is just part of the job, which he adds is why it's so important for drivers to slow down and stay off the roads when they can, because every unnecessary trip risks putting first responders back out in the cold.
We work 12-hour shifts, days and nights, and there's no rhyme or reason for how long you can stay outside. You just have to be prepared to spend some time outside.
And Stefanie, I can tell you it was nice to be in that cruiser. At the time that I was sitting in his cruiser, it felt like minus 19 with the wind chill. And as you saw there, he had his heat cranked up to 25. So one way to beat the cold there.
Yeah, what an experience that was.
Yeah, it was a fun time.
We also need to take into consideration the other first responders out there. The paramedics, you know, they're out there as well.
That's right.
Firefighters as well when they're dealing with that large amount of water, if they're putting out a blaze. We do, you know, thank you to all of the first responders out there, especially in these cold temperatures. We truly appreciate it.
Yeah, it definitely gives us a greater appreciation, more than we already have, for what they do.
Okay, thank you, Sanjay Morrow tonight. We have more information on the status of surgeries at Chatham-Kent Healthcare Alliance. So far, the hospital says there have been no impact on the patients in hospital beds. CEO Adam Topp says there's enough steam moving through the building to ensure no patient goes cold. The main impact is to the hospital's medical device reprocessing department.
To not running our medical device reprocessing department limits the amount of steam that we need. So we've done other things to manage with the capacity that we have.
Patients with elective surgeries today had their appointments rescheduled. Emergency surgeries were able to continue as needed. The facility is currently operating on about half of its typical boiler capacity. Topp says one boiler was being repaired when the other gave out. The systems are about 23 years old and were already scheduled to be replaced next year. 2 temporary replacements are on the way.
The message is we are in touch with each individual patient, and each individual patient has a different circumstance in terms of rescheduling and whatnot, and that's going to be a high priority for us. Canceling elective surgeries is the last thing on the list that we want to do. You know, the expectation is we'll get things back up and running this week, and there should not be any further disruption.
CTV meteorologist Gary Archibald joining me now. Gary, it just goes to show how weather impacts us in every part of our life.
You're right about that, and the impact of late has been dealing with extreme cold, well below seasonal temperatures, plus the snow. The good news is the snow is starting to lighten up, at least in extreme southwestern Ontario, where we reside. There's a chance of seeing a few flurries between now and, say, 10 p.m., but I think it's not likely to be a big deal, less than a centimeter now in terms of the computer model simulations. Temperatures, though, remain cold, well below seasonal. Tomorrow morning at 7 a.m., it could feel like about minus 24, minus 25. That's your wind chill value, and temperatures remain below seasonal by several degrees. I'll break down what you need to know. Hey, there's some sunshine for the weekend ahead. That should put a smile on your face. It's all coming up in just moments. For now, I'll send it back to you at the desk.
Amid province-wide road salt shortage and a succession of winter storms, salt supplies are running low. But now the shortage is easing as the salt mine in Godridge ramps up once again. CTV's Scott Miller reports this marks a reversal after years of reduced demand.
Over 100 trucks are lined up outside the Goderich salt mine today, stretching all the way up North Harbour Road onto Highway 21. It's been like this for weeks, say locals, as the province grapples with a salt shortage. The mine, the largest salt mine in the world, is shipping de-icing salt as quickly as they can mine it these days, they say, thanks to one of the most severe winters in a long time. With the significant impact of winter weather compared to recent seasons, the entire road salt supply chain continues to experience high demand for de-icing salt. At Compass Minerals, we are actively working to fulfill all current orders, prioritizing shipments for our municipal clients, says Compass Minerals in a written statement. Goderich's salt mine produces about 7.25 million tons of salt each year, but has the capacity to mine 9 million tons. In 2024, Compass curtailed production of salt to align inventory with business conditions, which means instead of having huge stockpiles of salt sitting in inventory, they decided to produce salt more on an as-needed basis. Well, it's needed now, as de-icing salt has quickly become the most valuable commodity this winter.
From in November, prices being $132 a ton, we're up to $290. So the overall price is about a 220% from where it was originally.
The trucks, train, and boats loading salt in Goderich today are dealing mostly with municipalities who are also talking about curtailing or at least closely monitoring their salt supplies as they try to keep roads passable during one of the toughest winters in years. Without sharing specifics, Compass says they're ramping up production as best they can to meet the constant and growing demand for their granules of snow melting magic. The lineups aren't likely to end anytime soon here at the world's largest salt mine in Goderich. There is more snow and more cold weather on the way, which means salt will be at a premium probably all winter long. In Goderich, Scott Miller, CTV News.
New data from the Angus Reid Institute finds 4 in 5 Canadians say they are more fearful than hopeful about the year ahead. So we want to know how you feel. Are you feeling hopeful or fearful about the year ahead? Go to our website to cast your vote, ctvnewswindsor.ca. Yesterday, we asked if you support a reduction in jobs at City Hall to get a 0% tax increase. Out of almost 800 responses, 69% say they do. A Windsor resident is raising concerns about staffing and safety at the city-owned International Aquatic and Training Center. The City of Windsor says the facility is safe and confirms it has responded to the concerns. Here's CTV's Chris Campbell with more.
I have a 0% increase in my optimism of how this facility might run next year.
A social media post by daily user Six Langman is sparking debate over staffing levels and patron safety at Windsor's International Aquatic and Training Center.
At the very base level, we are getting less service at this center than we were getting, well, essentially 3 weeks ago.
Langman alleges there is no staff or security presence in the upstairs fitness area during early morning hours and no immediate way to call for help. He says staffing cuts and shortages have, at times, left the front desk unattended.
Staffing cuts are leading to safety concerns. They changed the facility and moved a wall. They're adding more equipment, but they've cut out a staff person in the morning.
He also claims lifeguards are occasionally pulled from pool supervision to cover front desk breaks, something he says raises safety concerns.
I did get a response from the city. They did send a letter and sort of went through some of the points. I feel they kind of glossed over some of them, but just they said that some of these things were going to be taken care of, that they're in the process of being remedied.
Langman says his hope is to see morning staffing restored, considering since user fees went up. He argues the cost of adding a shift would be small compared to the potential risks.
So far, we've had 0 incidents of problems at the aquatic center.
Downtown Councillor Ronaldo Agostino says he uses the facility regularly and has not personally experienced the issues raised.
But I also read the email from the city, and all of it makes sense. So I think there still seems to be a little bit of concern, and I'm just going to go in and see it for myself. I think it's the best thing to do.
Agostino says staffing levels can shift seasonally during slower periods, calling it a standard business practice, and adds that security measures are not discussed publicly.
Nobody really wanted to start an argument. I just really wanted to have the same level of service that I had at this facility. I see it going downhill, and I see the city saying to me, well, no, that's not happening. And I can literally see it, and so are other patrons.
The city is encouraging anyone with concerns about any municipal facilities to contact 311 or their local councillor. Chris Campbell, CTV News.
Now we have more details, including more reaction from the city online. That's at ctvnewswindsor.ca. In other news, a dollar store in the West End is about to be transformed into a much-needed grocery store. It's one of several new businesses opening up in Sandwich Town that may bring new life to the historic area.
We have 0 vacancies, and as soon as a space becomes available, people snap them up like that.
And soon, Mills Dollar Plus is about to recreate itself as Mills Grocery Plus.
In a neighborhood that could be considered a food desert, where a lot of people don't drive, a lot of people cycle or walk to the grocery store, it's something that's very important to have, especially in weeks like we're having right now.
A co-owner who didn't want to appear on camera tells CTV News this space will be a full-service grocery store with fresh produce, breads, dairy, and meats, even a small beauty section. The store will be converted aisle by aisle, one at a time. Residents will notice coolers being delivered in about a week, and shoppers can watch the conversion happening as the store won't be closing during the changeover. Owners say they will be offering delivery for an extra fee. This neighboring business owner is thrilled.
Seeing, new faces, new traffic, it's definitely beginning to feel like a home, like a nice community again, compared to what it's been.
Other businesses are also slated to open this year. SPQR Roma Cafe, a dessert and gift boutique called Pretty & Co., and a second hair salon shop. And just last month, Jake's Tavern opened up shop.
We're on the doorstep of the opening of the Gordie Howe Bridge, which for many people will be the first time they visit Canada, or first time they visit Windsor, or maybe even Canada as an entire country. We will be the gateway for so many people, whether they're coming across the multi-use pathway on foot or on bicycle, or they're driving through.
The BIA plans to launch a major tourism campaign in the near future. News negotiations still ahead on Windsor's news leader. Canada is in talks with Meta on the return of news to Facebook. And sweet and sultry, 2 new businesses coming to Devonshire Mall that have people buzzing. And a century of compassion and counting. Tomorrow, the Humane Society marks 100 years and launches a new campaign, fueling the future of animal care. That's tomorrow at 6 on CTV News. A magnitude 3.7 earthquake struck southern Ontario late last night. Earthquakes Canada says it happened at 10:59 p.m. with the epicenter located 23 kilometers southeast of Orillia. Roughly 2,200 people reported feeling the quake from areas including Kitchener, Toronto, Belleville, and Niagara Falls. So far, there has been no indication that the quake caused any injuries or damage. Ottawa is in talks with Meta to bring news back to its platforms as part of U.S. trade discussions. CTV's Mike Couture explains what this could mean for local news.
Like many local newspaper editors in Canada, Charlie Senak's job got a lot harder when Meta stopped allowing news on platforms like Facebook and Instagram.
I hear it from our readers, too, who are incredibly frustrated that they can't find us on Facebook. It was a very quick and easy way for them to go and get their content that they want.
The Online News Act and Online Streaming Act have been called irritants by the Trump administration in trade discussions. Both laws compel U.S. tech giants to financially support Canadian TV, film, and music sectors. Instead of paying Canadian media companies for carrying their content, all Meta platforms blocked Canadian news on sites like Facebook and Instagram in 2023. Now, Meta wouldn't provide a comment about renewed talks, but did point to these comments in October.
News publishers place their content on our platforms because they get increased distribution, and then they can monetize the clicks that they receive as a result of that distribution.
Kern added that Meta was hopeful news could return to their platform. The Identity and Culture Minister says talks are preliminary.
Canada's door has always been open to have those discussions. We stand by the value of the 2 acts that make sure that platforms are doing their jobs and making sure people are getting fair dealings.
But even that is welcome news for CNAC.
If this does happen and we can post on Meta again, I think we'll be at a point where we can really start growing in even more ways than we already have, and with the added advantage of all the work that we've already put into it.
Last year, the Canadian government removed the digital services tax just to restart talks with the U.S. But it's unclear how far it's willing to bend with the online news and streaming acts. Mike Lecouteur, CTV News, Ottawa.
The town of Essex is forward-thinking and preparing for the vehicle of the future.
3. Yay!
This grant paid for 100% of the installation costs for these 8 chargers that we now have in the town.
Aviva Insurance gave the town $110,000 to install 4 EV charging stations. 2 are at Heritage Park in the downtown core and 2 others at Harrow Arena. The low-range Low-2 chargers cost $3 to charge for an hour. It's all part of Essex's shift to electric-powered vehicles.
We have 1 truck for our community services, and we have a SUV here for our infrastructure services, and we are looking to get a hybrid vehicle for our bylaw department this year. So with the part of the council strategic plan due in 2027 is a fleet plan for electrifying the fleet.
2 new stores are on the way to Devonshire Mall, something for the kids and something for the grown-ups. The mall announcing a Build-A-Bear workshop and a Victoria's Secret are coming soon. Both are set to open near the Best Buy Express, with Build-A-Bear bringing its make-your-own stuffed friend experience, and Victoria's Secret returning to Windsor with lingerie, swimwear, and beauty products. The Bank of Canada says it will hold its key interest rate at 2.25%. Data in recent weeks shows the country's economy has largely been stable despite American tariffs. Canada's main stock index finished higher, helped by gains in the basic materials sector. In Toronto, the TSX gained 80 points. In New York, the Dow added 12, while the Nasdaq is up 40. The Canadian dollar gained a quarter cent today. On commodity markets, gold gained more than $200 an ounce, and oil is up 82 cents a barrel. Could a common shot change the fight against memory loss? New research coming up.
Let's take a look at our CTV News weather snapshot. Thanks to Jay Thomas for sharing this image. Snow is not the major story of the day. Imagine that. It's still cold. And we might see some sunshine for the weekend. I'm excited. Are you? We'll find out the details of the weather story coming up.
Extremely cold out there. Gary joins me again. And Barry, looking back at Sanjay's story, very interesting to see how the weather and it affects, from a police officer's perspective.
Yes, definitely. Thanks to our uniform officers, the men and women, thanks for their service. They are dealing with the elements always, especially with traffic stops, especially on highways. In the middle of storms with accidents, it can be very dangerous for them in so many different ways. Plus, the cold. And speaking of which, we are still holding at almost a -20 wind chill right now, with the actual ambient temperature under cloudy conditions -10. The winds are relatively brisk and strong across the region. Southwesterlies sustained at 30 with gusts closer to 40, and it's going to get colder. Medium is what we'd rate the air quality today. It's been good for the last 3 weeks in a row. Today, not that great, but not horrible. Couple of things that I noticed over the last computer model runs. Winds dying down just a bit, but they will pick up tomorrow during the daytime, perhaps the afternoon, and that will play into a wind chill value that could be in the -20s yet again. So -10 to -11 between Windsor, Essex, Chatham, Kent. Feels like about -19 to -20. It is windy now, in part due to the circulation of low pressure that is still churning about, lake effect snow across all of the Great Lakes and Georgian Bay and Lake St. Clair, at least earlier. The worst of the snow as well to our north and east over the next 24 to 48 hours, so that's good news. And we will see some sunshine as we head towards Friday, Saturday, Sunday. More on that in just a moment. There is a slight chance of flurries through 8 o'clock, between 8 and 9 in particular, only about a 40% chance. And we will be getting down to about minus 14 at midnight under partly cloudy skies, feeling like about minus 21. Take a look at our 7-day forecast, courtesy of Enercare Siles. Here's your sunshine, but it's, I'd say, through the early afternoon at its peak. Then the clouds start to move in late in the day before dusk. High of minus 10 feels like about minus 18 in the afternoon, but before daybreak, we're looking at a wind chill about minus 24. Sunny on Friday, minus 13, minus 10, then minus 6 on fair weather weekend, and then mid-single digits below zero as we head towards Wednesday of next week. That's a look at your weather.
A new study suggests the shingles vaccine may help prevent or delay the onset of dementia more effectively than any existing treatment. The study, led by researchers at McMaster and Stanford universities, analyzed health data from more than 250,000 Ontario seniors over a 5.5-year period. Researchers say those who got the vaccine had a 2% lower chance than the other group of receiving a dementia diagnosis. Experts say the difference works out to be about 2 fewer dementia cases per 100 people. In Ontario, families say that they have been overwhelmed with support after issuing a call on social media for a potential liver donor. With more on the 12-year-old girl hoping to find a match, here's Brent Lyle.
12-year-old Lily Wag is at Sick Kids Hospital in Toronto. After a number of tests, doctors determined
her liver is no longer able to sustain life, so transplant was and is needed.
The St. Thomas family has spent this entire month at the hospital as they wait for a liver donor. A recent social media call for help went viral.
At this time, they don't need any more applications because they're the astonishing amount of turnout. They've actually stopped counting the amount of applications for Lily. The drawback to that is that they only process one potential candidate at a time.
The applicant screening process includes CT scans, MRIs, blood work, and X-rays, so that takes time. When it comes to liver donation, they are told their best chance is a live donor.
The donor would be potentially able to give a piece of their liver instead of obviously the whole thing. The liver will, within 6 to 8 weeks, potentially, hopefully, regrow back to the original size for the donor and for the recipient.
And there's always the option of a deceased donor, and then that comes with we would get the whole liver.
While they wait, the family is living at Ronald McDonald House.
Kids go to school down here as well at Ronald McDonald House. We're definitely very thankful to be able to do this as a family and not separate, being obviously living 2.5 hours away, so we can tackle this as a family.
Doctors are doing their best to keep her as stable as possible, but
she's very sick. There's not months and months and months that she can wait, and unfortunately at any time she could decline.
In the short term, they can only wait, monitor her levels, and hope and pray there's a donor ready to go through a 6 to 8 hour surgery.
We just have to hope and pray that we're able to find something before her body decides that it's had enough.
Brent Lale, CTV News.
Killing it. A local volleyball team is getting national recognition. I'll tell you who they are and where they are ranked. On the Sidelines is coming up. Stay tuned.
As we do every Wednesday at this time, we are on the sidelines with Bob Belichico tonight. And Bob, you are starting tonight with the Essex 73s.
Yes, we are, Stephanie. They are gearing up for a long playoff run, hopefully. Now, they made it to the Schmaltz Cup final a year ago and want to bring it home this year. The 73s in action last night against a strong Blenheim team. Connor Hunt with the hot stick. Check this goal out. Wowza, my ears are still ringing from that shot. Connor with a pair of goals, including the game winner as Essex went on to win 3-2. They are at the top of the Provincial Junior Hockey League standings with 65 points. There are 5 games left on the schedule, and the 73s are close to clinching the Staub division as well.
You know, usually you see a team with the record that we have, it's like, oh, they're blowing everybody out. That's not the case. So, yeah, it's a very competitive league. It's going to make for a real good playoff. And, you know, we look forward to the playoffs, but we still need I think we need about 4 points here, finishing out in the last 6 games to seal first place.
Now, the 73s are in a position to seal first place in part because of their young players. They're coming of age in their first year. For example, Gavin Gaudette, he's 17 years old, a defenseman, and saw him out there for pretty much an entire power play last night. He and other players are playing big minutes and making a difference on the ice.
I'm in love with our defense, and like I say, there's a bunch of them that are 17. You know, the Wright and the 2 Gaudettes, and they just have played well beyond their years. I mean, they're to the point now where they're close to go-to guys in their first year.
And Bob, we have a couple of local women's volleyball teams that are doing well.
Yeah, they're doing very well, actually. Now, we'll start with the University of Windsor, where the Lancers moved back into first place in the OUA West Division. They are 13-3, led by a starting rotation consisting of local players.
The volleyball in Windsor has definitely been growing. It's cool to see that in younger girls.
Yeah, there's a lot of amazing players on this team, so it's really fun to play with so many skilled players and do so well with everyone.
Staying at the U, something to note, Callie Grutenbauer was on a 12-game streak, recording at least 10 points and 10 assists per game. The double-double streak ended last Friday, but she started a new one the very next day. Windsor is second in the OUA West at 13-4 and host Waterloo Friday, Laurier Saturday. Now, over at the college, the Saints have won 12 in a row, including last weekend's sweep of Sheridan. They have gone from being under the radar to, hello, we're here to party. St. Clair entered the national rankings at number 4 earlier this month and had been at number 3 for the past 2 weeks. It's the program's highest ranking since coming in at number 4 way back in 1997.
When we first beat Humber, and then the second time we beat Humber, we expected a national ranking the second time, and when we saw 4th, I was more than happy about that. It's well-deserved for this program, and it's a long time coming. It's something that we look up at our banner, and we see the provincial ranking, but we want to get to nationals, and we don't just want to get to nationals, we want to medal at nationals.
Turning to the Spitfires, not a great week last week, but they do have another busy weekend ahead.
It wasn't really bad, but, you know, they lost 2 out of 3. To me, they could have won all 3 of them, really, but, you know, we'll see what happens this week. Now, that one right there was tough to watch. The Spits did salvage the weekend with a win in Flint, giving them 3 out of 6 points. Windsor's tied with Flint and Kitchener at the top of the conference, each with 66 points. Spits are at home against North Bay tomorrow night.
You look at the one loss, we're on the power play and the puck bounces over our guy's stick and they score. Like, those are the hockey gods, but we got to find a way to score a little bit more.
Scoring comes from hard work and chemistry. Now, head coach Greg Walters told me he's still trying to find the right mix with his roster. Here's a move that has been paying off recently. Nathan Villeneuve, recently acquired, is on Windsor's top line with captain Liam Greentree.
Billy's been great for us. He works hard. He does his thing, and you know, he's a good player. And it's been pretty easy to play with him. So I think once we just start connecting a little more, then you know, it'll be great.
Obviously, some lines are clicking, some lines aren't. So we have a lot of very skilled players, and we got to just figure out who molds well together.
Now, there's a big event coming to the WFC Center this Saturday featuring some of the area's best kickboxers. The event is called Kings 5. King Striking Series, based out of the Windsor Thai Boxing Club, is hosting a K1 amateur kickboxing clash between Canadian and American fighters. Under Waco Canada, the national body for kickboxing, the card will feature 11 matches, including 6 local fighters. Windsor has a long history of boxing, and local organizers are focused on raising the profile of all forms of kickboxing.
We want to bring it back up and make Windsor known for kickboxing, and we think we can do that not only with our athletes here at Windsor Top Boxing, a lot of the other local athletes, and with the way the promotion is going as well. Take King Striking Series to be recognized as the promotion that not only Windsorites want to fight on, but people from across Ontario, Canada, United States, and hopefully eventually internationally as well.
Now, Joe Gouda is the main event Saturday night. He recently represented Canada at the World Championships after capturing the Canadian title last year. The Thai boxing standout will face the U.S. national champ Dawson Yoder in the 147-pound clash.
I'm going to be fighting against somebody, very skilled opponent, and I'm not underestimating him, but I believe that I am more skilled. I believe I have what it takes to win, and I believe that I'm going to be a world champion one day.
I believe that I will win. He believes. That's all you need. You need to believe.
Yeah.
And based on what I saw the other night at the club, I mean, they have a group of people. I mean, it's a packed gym, first of all, and they have a lot of fighters who believe that one day they will be a champ. I talked to a few. It was amazing.
Yeah, and why shouldn't they? I love how it's Canada versus the U.S., too.
That's always good.
It's a good spark. I mean, the most kickboxing I've ever done is in a class at the gym, so I'm not an expert on this, but good luck to everyone in this competition.
You got it, yes.
Okay, thank you, Bob.
This is your CTV Windsor Our Community Calendar. The Forever in Our Hearts Gala in support of In Honor of the Ones We Love returns Saturday, February the 7th at the Chichero Club. See you next time on Our Community.
It's time to check in on what's happening now with Melanie Kettner. And Melanie, you have more for us on how our new hospital will be built.
Yes, as Michelle reported, it's going to be built in 3 phases. Phase 1, which is currently underway, is construction of underground servicing, and then a parking garage and admin building. Phase 2 is a tower that will house all of the healthcare departments. And finally, Phase 3, a second tower. This one will hold all of the inpatient beds.
It is a common approach that Infrastructure Ontario is implementing on a lot of major infrastructure projects throughout the province, but this is a unique approach when it comes to hospital development.
We've got specific project timelines at ctvnewswindsor.ca.
And we also have a story on the website, Melanie, with a great opportunity for kids.
Yes, I love this one. The Spitfires are doing a kids takeover night in March. The hockey team is looking for kids to be the game day announcer, game host, and head coach, and more. If you know a child who might be interested, applications are being accepted online. Kids Takeover Night is March 8th, and you can find the link to apply on our website. And in our social spotlight, the hazards of working for a hockey team. Check this out. Ooh, that's Maine Mariners Director of Marketing forgetting where she was during the pregame ceremonies. She did a wave, though, after getting knocked down by that carpet. And the goalie, he just stood there and watched the whole time, Stefanie.
That looked like it hurt, for sure. Yeah, she could have used a helping hand from the goalie. Yeah, without a doubt.
She recovered well.
Okay, thank you, Melanie. He's breaking records and can't even see the top of the snooker table. The double Guinness World Record holder is just 2 years old. Gary, I'm going to take a wild guess. It's going to continue to be cold outside.
You are correct. Stephanie, I'm looking at stats here that not everyone's going to be pleased with. But there is some good news, some light at the end of the tunnel as we take one more look at our Enercare style 7-day forecast. -10 tomorrow. The morning at around 7 a.m. feels like about -24. Our average high for this time of the year is -1. All of these numbers are below seasonal. But a week from now, even like Tuesday, Wednesday, we'll reach -3. You know, not bad. That's more seasonal. The next 3 days, though, actually 4, we will see more sunshine than cloud.
Okay.
It's just going to be very cold, especially for Thursday and Friday morning. The weekend, -8, -5, we can manage with that.
Okay. Finally, tonight, a 2-year-old with a very special set of skills is already a world record holder 2 times over. Correspondent Jeremy Roth shows us his unforgettable tabletop trick shots.
Watch a very talented toddler make world records history twice by sinking 2 very difficult trick shots at the tender age of just 2 years old. Jude Owens from Manchester, England, has been confirmed as a double Guinness World Record holder in the table sport of snooker, similar to pool, after becoming the youngest person ever to pot 2 balls in 2 different pockets with 1 cue ball strike, and becoming the youngest to pull off a bank shot using the rails to sink another ball. Jude's dad says he's shown an amazing aptitude for the game since the first time he picked up a stick, and Guinness says the pint-sized snooker shark is not only the youngest known person to secure a snooker sponsorship, he also made a special walkout appearance at the 2025 UK Snooker Championship. For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
This video is so hard to believe. I wonder what he's going to accomplish when he's 3 years old.
Yeah, pretty impressive. Although I have to be a stickler. Technically, you have to have at least 1 foot on the ground when you're making a whole shot.
I was going to mention that.
I don't know.
So really, is that legit? I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe we will ask for a redo on that. It's going to have to grow a bit long.
Might have to.
Yeah. Okay, on behalf of our dedicated team here at CTV News Windsor, thank you for watching.
For updates throughout the evening, go to ctvnewswindsor.ca. And of course, Travis Fortnum and I will be back with your late local news forecast and newscast at 11.
Good night.
Good night.